Sunday. How are y'all doing today? Y'all, we is back and we're going to talk about D4, I guess David, D4vd, David, the young singer who his 15-year-old girlfriend ended up in his Tesla Frunk. So we are going to get into it. We are going to do a reaction to News Nation. Shout out to Ashley Banfield. We're going to get into it. This is the first time I'm going to do a live on David because, y'all, there's a lot going on. But my take on the situation is either David did this allegedly or maybe somebody else did it. I don't know. But his videos are very, very dark. And I don't know if he is a part of the Naughty Dotty party. This is his first, sacrifice. I don't know. But, it does kind of, lean towards that for me. I'm just saying, everybody is different. But we are going to get into it with Ashley Banfield. Shout out to News Nation. We're going to do a reaction to that video. And we're going to find out what they know, what is going on, what has transpired thus far. So, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me get the camera, turn it around, and let's see what we can find out about David. Because David is doing the most on the coast. So let's go ahead and get into it. Happy Sunday fun day, y'all. Smash the like button as y'all come in the building. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. Let me turn the camera. Let me get situated and let's see what we can find out about this situation. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Banfield, this Friday special edition. It's called The Death of a Teen and a Star Named David. The teen, of course, is Celeste Hernandez. The David is a 20-year-old superstar in the making who spells his name D4vd, but whose legal name is David Anthony Burke. Under any other circumstances, David would likely be spending this Friday night exactly the way you would expect for a 20-year-old platinum-selling multimillionaire, just coming off a 2-month tour. I'm thinking clubs and friends and fans and parties, maybe even one of those regular blowouts that neighbors said happen pretty often in that $20,000 a month mansion he was living in the Hollywood Hills. But tonight, that mansion is dark, and it's empty. And David hasn't been seen.
Salute to my baby, the first one in the building. Hey, my baby, Jamil Peterson, Mr. RM Comedy. Welcome in the building. Y'all, happy Sunday fun day. Come in the building, smash the like button. We are getting into this David business. Let's go ahead and continue listening to Ashley Banfield here at News Nation.
In the LA party scene for weeks. And he hasn't been heard from publicly for just about as long. And why is that? The young dead girl, Celeste, who just yesterday was confirmed to be the very same Celeste the singer once wrote a love song about. She's the same girl he appeared with on live streams and the same girl he and his friends partied with in LA. And yes, she's the same girl he was involved with romantically, even though she was only 14 years old at the most. It's more than likely she was only 12. Or 13 when the relationship began with David. That's when he was 17 or 18. In the hour ahead, we're breaking down the very latest details, beginning with one that might have gone unnoticed. I'll say it again, David has not been charged in this crime, nor has he been named a person of interest. But all the while, the LAPD has been unusually tight-lipped about the case. Yesterday, though, Chief Jim McDonnell of the LAPD did an interview, and deliberately or not, he said this. Did you catch that?
If no one ever
Let's skip this commercial, you guys. Let's skip it. Welcome in the building. Happy Sunday fun day. How are y'all doing today? Welcome in. Smash the like button, y'all. We are getting into this David D4 situation. Y'all know he was a famous young singer, and y'all, some of his videos are very, very dark, and some of the videos are even, he is like self-snitching on himself. But let's continue listening to Ashley Banfield.
Words in that sentence. Homicide and associated issues. Homicide means death at the hands of another person, as opposed to a suicide or maybe an accidental overdose, because those are theories. Associated issues, that could refer to the fact that David's friends confirmed that he was in that romantic relationship with a girl of just 14. At this point, Celeste's cause and manner of death are listed as deferred, but if victim and boyfriend make up two key parts of this puzzle, the third part has to be the abandoned 2-year-old Tesla in which the girl's decomposing body was finally found 18 days ago. That's September 8th. My first guest tonight is a private investigator who specializes in missing persons, and he got his hands on the paper trail from that first ticket that went on the Tesla's windshield to the end of the line at the impound lot. And he learned that fed-up neighbors called police about this car on August the 26th. An officer came by the very next day and left a ticket on the window. A second ticket was issued September 3rd. And the car was finally towed September 5th, 3 days before it became a key piece of evidence in what's now being confirmed as a homicide. Steve Fisher is the man behind that pro bono detective work, and he joins me now live. Steve, thanks so much for being on tonight. Tell me about the tow report that you were able to obtain and some of the information that you learned from the report.
So, it was first called in by a neighbor on the 26th. And the only note that was on it was when they asked for any identifying information besides the license plate, they noted that there was a large dent in the back. And, it was curious that there wasn't an odor mentioned. Now, that doesn't absolutely mean that in the conversation with the agent, they didn't mention that and it just didn't get reported. But, in LA, a traffic officer has to come out at least 3 times before they can tow it on 3 different days. They have to chalk the tires, make sure it hasn't moved, because it is legal to park on that street. So, as far as what was gathered from that, it was nothing regarding the smell or anything, but for it to get towed from that area, considering there is no parking restrictions, it had to be there quite a while, I think.
Yeah, that car does look a little dusty. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that this car is dusty and it's been sitting probably on the side of the road for a very, long time, for a couple of days or something like that, because look at how dusty and dirty it is. And it, if you sit a car outside and, the pollen, the dirt, the dirt kicking up from, cars riding by, this means that this car had to be sitting out there for a while. And do y'all see, look at all the dents in the back. I mean, this is crazy. I don't know. I mean, some people just don't like to take care of cars. I don't know what happened, but y'all, this car looks like it's been sitting out here for, a good couple of days, maybe even a week. But y'all, let's continue. Smash the like button as you guys come in the building.
Well, let's talk about that, because not only did you get your hands on the towing report with all the information it yielded, but you also knocked on some doors and you found some of the neighbors who indeed knew about that car and knew how long it had been there. What did they tell you?
I talked to someone that, nobody wanted to be on the record, but they said that they believe they're certain the car was there more than a month. There was somebody else that said that
Oh, wow. Y'all, this car was there for more than a month. I was giving it a week or so. I mean, that's a very long time. And hold up, y'all. Let me turn the camera. If this car was over there for a month, and did anybody smell an odor? I mean, if this car had this the 15-year-old girlfriend's body in it, did anybody smell that? Because when it was towed over there to the car place, the what's it called, the tow yard, if they smelt that odor, somebody walking by, the people that was parked in front of it, behind it, I know they had to smell the odor of this, deceased 15-year-old girl in the frunk of this Tesla. There's no way that you can't smell something as pungent. I don't know what it smells like, but they say that smell is very, very, not a smell you won't forget. And it's a very, distinct smell. So I know if they was parked in front and back people, they smelled it. They had to smell this odor. But y'all, let's continue. Let's continue.
Car had moved around a couple different times, but that's going back as far as May. It had been moving around, and from those photos.
Michelle say it's super awful smell. Yes, I've never smelled it before, but they said that smell of death is disgusting, and it's a smell that you will never ever forget. So if this situation was true for this car sitting on the side of the road, I'm sure these people had to smell it, y'all. I'm sure these people had to smell it. If these people towed the car and when it was over there at the tow yard and they were like, "Ooh, there's a funky odor. There's something smelling in one of these cars." Those people had to know too where it was parked at. But y'all, let's continue. Smash the like button.
Those photos actually were embedded with the ticket that was taken. So when they provided the ticket on the 3rd, they give images, in case it goes to court and they can back it up. They're really high res images. I could really zoom into them, and I mean that dirt is caked on that car. So I think that car got dumped a lot earlier than a lot of us think.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the pictures at the same time you are on screen, and our viewers are seeing it too. One of the things I noticed with the caked on dirt is that you would not have been able to drive it with windshields that caked. It would have been.
Oh yeah, because y'all see this right here. Okay, here's a little bit like a better picture, I guess. Okay, so this car, it does look like it's been sitting for at least a month. And why is I don't understand, like a Tesla being banged up. I mean, what were they doing so crazy I don't know, y'all. I don't know. This boy is 20 years old, and allegedly, this was his car. It was registered in Texas, and this girl, the 15-year-old girlfriend, who was, basically missing, they found it to be the 15-year-old girlfriend that the mother had called in and said she was missing since last year. She's been missing since last April. But y'all, let's continue. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Smash the like button as y'all come in the building.
Really hard to drive. So, and I'm just so sad when I see this car parked here, because you know that she's in the trunk in this image, and it's so sad to. Yeah, it's extraordinarily sad. It's not just a parked car that's getting a ticket and getting towed. It's a tomb where a girl had been decomposing, day after day after day. But it's interesting you say a month, but then it's also interesting you see the police came back 3 different times and chalked the tires. What's the protocol for them?
Hey, E, what's the low? How are you? Welcome in. E, what's the low said, hey, Lounge, what's going down? So we are just going over David, the singer, where his 15-year-old girlfriend was found in the frunk of the Tesla. So we're just doing a reaction to Ashley Banfield on News Nation, giving us the updates on what's going on with the situation. So they're saying that this car was sitting here probably for at least a month or so. I was giving it a week, maybe a couple of days, because all the dirt on the car. But they're saying that this car was there possibly over maybe a month, parked with this girl's body in it, y'all. I know that smell had to be roaming that little neighborhood, and it had to stink. I'm telling you, they said the smell of death is like no other. So I know somebody had to call and report, like, something just smells funky in the air. Something smells suspicious. And y'all, it's hot, over there in California. It's hot everywhere. So this smell in the midst of like a hot summer day in California has to be funky in the air. And this is so sad because this girl has been reported missing since last April, y'all. This is terrible. But let's continue to listen to Ashley Banfield.
Why didn't they tow it the first day they were called?
Hey,
So
Cindy,
they're not allowed to
welcome.
tow it unless it's documented that it has not moved in 72 hours. So now when they came out on the 26th, or they got called on the 26th, they came out first on the 27th. That happened to be Labor Day weekend. So, it wasn't until the 3rd, until Labor Day was over, they came out the second time. But by ordinance here in LA County, and I do very familiar with this because I live in the area, you have to move within 72 hours. If it's
Oh, Eunice. Okay. Hey, Eunice, welcome in. Eunice says decomposed bodies is a smell that you can't get out of your nose. This is what I hear, Eunice. People say that about the smell of death. When there's a dead body that has been decomposing in a place, especially in a car, in a front, y'all already know if you set some groceries in your car in the midst of the summer, like some ice cream, it's going to melt. It's gonna melt, but y'all, and it's gonna probably start stinking after a while if it depends on how long it's in there. But anything is gonna smell if you put it in the frunk in the Tesla or even in a regular trunk of a car. But this is crazy. LW, welcome in. LW says is okay, delete it. Okay, welcome in, y'all. Let's continue.
Called in as abandoned has to also have other factors, such as it appears to be abandoned. If this car was clean, it wouldn't have been towed.
Wow.
Yeah. The fact that, the first call came in and 8 days later it was towed, each time they came out and established the 72-hour rule and had those three that they have to have. Did the neighbors that you talked to say anything else about other than, yeah, it's been here for about a month? Did anybody say it smelled?
See, you guys, let's skip this commercial. See, this situation with something smell like, she's asking, did anybody say it smelled? Hold on, you guys. Did anybody else say that this, there was an odor? Did anybody else report that? Because there was a lot of cars, from what we see, it was a lot of cars parked in front of that Tesla. So did these other people that been walking back and forth, parking their car, maybe when they went to work, came home, were they smelling this odor before? I mean, this is, people say it's very, very, of course, y'all in the chat, in the comments said, yes, the smell of a death of the cat, of human body, it's a very, very, smell that you won't forget. But y'all, let's continue listening, because she's asking him about, like, the smell. But y'all, let's continue.
I know that I've seen.
Oh, let me rewind it a little bit.
Have to have. Did the neighbors that you talked to say anything else about other than, yeah, it's been here for about a month? Did anybody say it smelled?
Not that I talked to. I know that I've seen reports that somebody did, but not that I talked to. However, the street that it's on, and I don't know if this was done on purpose or not, but the street, Bluebird, is just this little street with about 6 houses on it. It kind of makes a semicircle that wraps from one end of Doheny and meets back up to Doheny. So it's not a super traveled street. Now, Doheny is, so you drive by it, but where it was is kind of like a strategic area where there's only, you see that road right there wraps around it.
See, do y'all see these cars like lined up? I mean, there had to be somebody that called 911 and said there is a funky odor over here. Because we know what, like, maybe some raw chicken, if they left a grocery bag with some raw chicken after grocery shopping, maybe had left it in the car. But we know that everybody knows that the smell of death is a whole different smell. It doesn't smell like no raw chicken. It doesn't smell like no melted ice cream. It smells like something else, right? So this is crazy. Desi says, so he was living in a hidden block. I guess the block was small. The guy said 5 or 6 houses on that block. My baby Jamil says, smash the like button, everybody. Yes, indeed. Hey, Tammy, welcome. Tammy says, hey, loungers, welcome in. What's the low said facts? My baby Jamil says, this boy is super guilty. I think so too, y'all. Put a 1 in the chat. Do y'all think that he is super guilty for doing this? I said he had to do it or somebody else did it, but it's his car. And I do believe, because what his songs were saying was he was self-snitching on himself. Okay, we got some 1s. Roxanne, Desi says a 1. I believe so too. Jamil, my baby, says 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Tammy says he is super creepy as well. Yes. Cindy says guilty. Yes, y'all. I believe he did it. I believe he did it, because why would you be doing all of this creepy stuff and then all of a sudden your girlfriend, who was underage 15, ends up in the trunk? I mean, y'all, this is crazy. Let's continue. This is really, really crazy.
The right, and then it connects again to the main road. So there's not too many people that will walk by it. And these hedges on this house are so high that it really takes out people walking on the other side of the vehicle. So I don't know if it was actually done strategically, but if you're going to leave it somewhere else, it's as good a place to leave it as any.
Well, the curious thing is, listen, this is a sort of a weird topic.
Oh, my baby Jamil said he brought up a good thing. He said he acted everything out in his videos. Yes. Have you guys seen his videos? Have y'all seen David's videos? David's videos are very dark. You know, where he had blood all on his face. I mean, he had a thing covering his eyes, had blood all over. It's like, oh my goodness, why is he doing this type of stuff? This kind of scary, like demonic, right? Ewa Salo says, yeah, the videos he's making are disturbing. Yes, they are very, very disturbing. And it really, really sets in mind, like, this Joker, he really killed this girl. She was 15 years old, but y'all, I don't know. This is just another one of my thoughts. Like, how, you know, his mother, them, from what I hear, reported her missing since last April. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Because is this like a sacrifice? You know, his sacrifice, you know, is he in the naughty dotty's, you know, situation? Is he in the group and where this is maybe his first sacrifice? Because a child that young, 20, they would be like more in like lover's lane. You know what I'm saying? They would be in love, you know, hanging out, doing all this other stuff. So I was like, is he a part of the naughty dotty party and this is his first sacrifice? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It's very, very creepy. But let's continue.
I have a septic field and a septic system, and I've grown up that way, and I know that when the winds shift, it doesn't matter what kind of hedge is nearby. It doesn't matter if it's 30 feet away. You can smell those odors, and I'm just wondering if anybody on the other side of the hedge or across the street, or you know, or within, say, 50 feet of where that car was parked, had noticed that smell and wondered what it was, because I believe the only report we had about that car was that somebody thought a dead animal was nearby.
Yeah, and I'll bet you now, in hindsight, they might. But I think that, you know, without this happening, you walk by a car, it's the last thing you think is that somebody's in the trunk, you know, deceased. And
yeah, the last thing you do think of is somebody in there. But at the same time, y'all, if that odor is funky and it smells like something that you never, because I've never smelled, you know, what it smells like, a dead person, dead body, like, you know, deteriorating, whatever, however you want to call it. I've never smelled that before. Some people have, and like I said, a lot of people have smelled it, and it's a smell that like everybody, a couple of people in the comment box said it's a smell you can never get rid of. And plus, remember David, they said he said that he had two alter egos. So was one of the alter egos the person, the ego that did this to this girl? I mean, y'all, it's very, very, this story is very crazy. But y'all, let's continue.
so you probably chalk it up to a bunch of other things, like set a sewer line broke. I mean, it's LA, stuff like this happens a lot. I'm talking about like sewer lines and whatnot. And there's a lot of construction going on in that area all the time. So you could chalk it up to, you know, they hit a line or something like that. I mean, really the last place people go is... But
really and truly, even if it was like a line that burst, even if it was a sewer line that burst, we know that, you know, it smells like boo-boo. We already know what boo-boo smell like. We know what urine smells like. All that smells like. But when you talk about the smell of death, that's a whole different smell, a whole different ball game. Y'all smash the like button. Take a minute to smash the like button for this young girl who lost her life in the trunk of this Tesla that belonged to David. Let's smash the like button. Let's get the likes up. This story is so sad, you guys. It is very, very, very sad. But I don't know, like I said, if he is this was his first sacrifice. I believe it is, because when you are a part of that, you know, society, and y'all know what I mean, the naughty dotty party, you know, they be doing this type of stuff. Now, I can't confirm nor deny. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts. But y'all, let's continue.
A body in a trunk, you know. Now, of course, now that we know that happened, it's easier to think that way. But you know.
Oh yeah, hindsight's 20/20, you know. Yeah. But I'm going to ask you about the damage on this car, because you've got a lot of insight into something we haven't all noticed in the video. But before I do that, I want to ask you about this location. I thought it was blocks and blocks away from David's house. It isn't.
No, I'd say it's probably 150 feet to Doheny Place, which he's on, from the rear of, from the trunk of that vehicle, because he's the first spot. They're parked on the first spot there. It's very close. In fact, on a weekend, I could see somebody parking there, because there wasn't street parking on his street, because his street's very small.
Like, it's one street over from where his house actually is?
Half a block. You know, because his street is really kind of like almost like an alleyway. It's not an alley, but it's really a half of regular block because the way the neighborhood's split up, it's very close. You can throw a rock at it.
It's
Wow.
unbelievable. It almost makes you wonder if the smell might have even reached the front door of that mansion. Let me ask you about the damage. I didn't notice damage in the towing and in the drone videos, but what did you know about?
Well, I didn't really know until I saw these photos. And this car, this is a 2023 Model X, you paid $104,000 for this. I've seen the invoice, and it's just beat up. I don't know what they've done to this car, but I mean, all the wheel wells have got damage, and I'm not really a car guy, but those side fenders.
Oh wait, what's the low says is Drew Barrymore's old place actually? Oh wow, because he was renting this place out. He was renting it out, I think, for $20,000, I believe.
On the other side are off. There's huge dent in the rear. The guy parking there also noticed front right damage. So I don't know what happened to this car, because I've seen, for instance, I found a Google Maps image of it happening parked in front of the house, right? The street view. And it does not look damaged there. So I don't know when this happened or how it happened, but it almost looks like it's been off road.
Originally.
Yeah, it looks like they was driving it off road. I mean, it got dents in the back. It's crazy.
We all thought it was a Model Y until this video showed the door handles, and the door handles apparently are the giveaway for the Model X because they're angel wing doors. They go up instead of out. And so the reports are all changing. I mean, every official report that we saw was a Model Y. It looks very much like a Tesla I have, which is a Model Y, but apparently it is this Model X. And I can tell you one thing, my Tesla was not 104,000. So this is a really souped up version.
Wow.
Mine was like a fifth of that, honest to God. I can't believe
the X has
that
got
car
a
was
larger,
that expensive.
Yeah, the X has got a larger frunk too. It's 6.6 cubic feet as opposed to 4.2 like the Model Y. So kind of explains how she might have fit in there as well.
Well, that's a
Wow.
very sad fact that I'll end on. I thank you, Steve. Really great digging.
My baby said pure survival. Yes, this is pure survival, you guys. This is sad. This is very devastating to see. This girl has been missing since last April, and then, find out that she had a boyfriend named David, which David is this big singer, and then she ends up in his trunk, chopped up, mutilated, dead. Sad story, y'all. So sad, y'all. Smash the like button. This is crazy.
appreciate you doing that. Please come back and talk to us again, because I know that you're still watching this story and digging on this story, as we all are. Appreciate this.
Thanks for having me.
Steve Fisher joining us tonight. And in just a moment, for the very first time, Celeste is seen on tape, right before she becomes a missing person.
Wow.
Here she is in critical surveillance video, leaving home at just 13 years old, and she breaks into a sprint. The man who owns the video had some fascinating insights into what kind of kid Celeste was. And let me tell you something, it is not what you might think of a runaway. That's next.
Wow. Wow. Y'all, this story is sad. Let's skip this commercial. But this is sad. I mean, seeing her from leaving
When
there,
police found the badly
that's
decomposed
crazy.
remains of Celeste Rivas Hernandez in the trunk of her rich boyfriend's Tesla, it kicked off a spiraling mystery 2.5 weeks ago. But it also ended another mystery, one that had lasted 1.5 years. Celeste was a missing person from the age of 13 on. Her disappearance was reported to the Sheriff's Department in Riverside County, where she lived. In April of 2024, that report went in. But she had been a runaway at least twice before that, in January and again in March of that year. Now TMZ has obtained video from the March disappearance. It was captured by a surveillance camera down the street from Celeste's home in Lake Elsinore, California. There's Celeste, right there, at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. This was March 19th. Where she's going and why she starts to run is unclear. But one thing is certain. This minute-long video is critical to what came next in her young life, as is personal information about Celeste herself from the man who owns the cameras. I spoke a short time ago about all of this with TMZ executive producer Charles Ladibodiere, and here's our conversation. Charles, tell me about this video, when it was taken, and the significance of the date and time.
Well, the video that we obtained from this is surveillance video from a liquor store in Lake Elsinore, California. The date is March 19th, 2024. What's significant about that date is this was around the time where what we've heard now from several people who have known, who knew Celeste, is that she was a runaway. And that in early 2024, there were multiple times that she ran away from home. This would have been either the second or third time, we're trying to figure that out, that she ran away in March. The first time had been in January. We've talked about it, that the police found her in Hollywood, brought her back to her family. But in March, she...
Oh, wow. The police found her in Hollywood and then brought her back to her family. Wow, that is something, y'all. Smash the like button. My baby said, like she said, rich boyfriend, he could have done it himself or paid somebody to do it. I believe so, Jamil. I believe so, baby. I do believe so, y'all. Let's continue.
He took off again, and we know this because her sister went into this liquor store and asked the owner if he had seen her come into the store. Did he have any surveillance video that might have shown her or where she went? He went back and looked at his cameras, and he did see this video, which shows Celeste walking down the street, walking at first, but then running, and she's running toward someone. Now, you lose it in the video because she gets too far down the street and you can't make out the vehicle, but the owner of the liquor store who we spoke to told us there was a car waiting for her there.
I'll tell you, I zeroed in on a couple of details. Mm-hmm. One of the details was that it's 7 a.m. And I thought, what on earth could be going on in her life at 7 a.m. that this would cause a problem, and her sister would eventually ask for this video that day. And then I thought, well, that's usually a school bus pickup or dropout, a pickup time. So is it thought that maybe she left home ostensibly to go to the school bus, didn't get on the school bus? Eventually, when she was reported as truant, maybe her sister started to ask, oh, I wonder if she ever did get on the school bus, and found the video showing that she didn't.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened here, Ashley, because the liquor store owner told us he was aware of Celeste and most of the kids in that neighborhood. Again, this liquor store is on the end of the block where Celeste's family lives. And he said that all the kids, when they would get off the school bus, or even when they were getting on the school bus, they would come into his store to buy, drinks or candy, snacks. And so he spoke to a lot of the kids. He knew Celeste, and he told us that, as far as he knew, he didn't know of any trouble at home, or that she was in any jeopardy or anything that he knew of. We have been told by law enforcement sources that they describe her home life as troubled.
Yeah, my baby Jamil says, what was she doing in Hollywood at age 13? Somebody told me that. Exactly. E. Westlow said, right, Jamil? Exactly. How is she getting to Hollywood at 13? 13, we know she don't know how to drive, definitely doesn't have no license. So she had to have somebody that was going, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Hollywood is a good little ways up the road from where she was from. It wasn't like it was a 5 or 10 minute ride. It was like a good little ways. I can't remember exactly how far, but I remember somebody saying that where she was from and Hollywood is a long distance. It's not no short little way, like 5 minute drive down the road. But y'all, let's continue.
I talked a little bit about this before, but I keep thinking every day something will loosen up with the LAPD. But I feel like you're getting the sense that this is one of the most tight-lipped cases they've had.
I'm not sure exactly why, but that is an accurate description. I mean, we cover a lot of stories not like this necessarily, but we cover a lot of stories involving law enforcement here in Hollywood, in the Hollywood area. you usually hear something, right? The police forces are too large to not hear something, and there is a clear order from someone to make sure that we keep a tight lid on, that they keep a tight lid on whatever it is that they've learned at this point. We've just heard so little.
Aren't you so shocked? I mean, honestly, this is the kind of case that screams for the public. We need your help. If you saw something on this date or this time or in this window, please call us. Like, tips help. You can ask the people in the Idaho case. The tips helped, and they really do bring in a lot of information and good leads. There's been nothing. There's been no request from the LAPD, which tells me they got what they need. They just need to figure out what the next step is to make sure it's not a mess.
And that they're trying to figure out how to connect some dots.
This seems to be another social media, investigation. Is it helping or is it hurting that there are so many true crime sleuths trying to piece together the puzzle?
I think, you said this just a few minutes ago, actually, that public tips help, right?
Monique said, didn't they say she had fake ID? Yes, Monique. Hold on, let me turn the camera. Yes, they said she had fake IDs. So if you have fake IDs, that means you was 13 years old and you was really fast, right? Now, I don't know how her family structure, her family dynamics were, but where was her father? I know her mother, I think they said she reported her missing last April, I believe. But what was her family structure? Did she have a lot of sisters and brothers? I don't even know. I'm sure they probably talked about it. But what was the mother doing to maybe, I don't know. How was the mother? Where was the father at? The sisters and brothers, the family. I just want to know what her family dynamics were. But y'all, let's turn the camera and let's continue.
And there are certainly, and I would imagine the LAPD is people who are looking at specializing in social media, combing through some of this material that's out there. It can only help. And, one of the things that I've learned a lot about as we've been covering this story is Discord. And there is a ton of information that is available there in David's communications with his fans and his fans' communications with Celeste. Whether or not any of it is going to lead to a location, where she was, who she was hanging out with, we haven't seen that yet, but I know that there is so much information out there. And if you have people on social media who are digging through it themselves, you never know. One of them might find the thing that, and certainly I hope that if they do, that they are sharing that with law enforcement. So maybe police are getting those tips anyway.
Charles Odor, I know you have to go. I'm always so thankful. I appreciate it, sir.
Happy to talk to you anytime.
Sooner rather than later.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Ashley.
My thanks to Charles, and also there's something in that video that I'm going to bring up in just a moment. It was a little detail that was weird. A woman who walks by Celeste has a reaction. I'm going to play it for you in a little bit and ask one of my special guests about it. But I got to take a quick break for a minute here. Our special report continues, though, with the search for an alibi. Will David's concert tour give him cover in what we now know is a homicide investigation? We're going to take you through each of his tour dates to find out just how...
Hold on, what's the low said? I'm sorry, but I be searching for my child at 13. Not she's gone since April. Yes, I would be searching, and I'm telling you, I would be in them streets. I would be up and down the block. I would be telling the police everything that I know that happened. But why in the world is she gone at 13 years old? I mean, that is a very, very young age for her to have fake IDs. Y'all know, it seems like, at that age, we all know mothers and fathers at 13, if you're doing all of this running away, you got fake IDs, you're doing a lot of other things. I'm just saying, but I don't know, like I said, her family dynamics. I'm trying to learn more as I'm, getting this information. But this is crazy. How old is David? David right now, they said he's 20. So if she was 15, that's 5 years, a 5-year gap, right? 4 or 5 year gap. So how in the world was he keeping this girl at bay for all of this time since last April? That was like a year and a couple of months. That's a long time. But y'all, let's continue.
How strong an alibi that tour might be, should he actually need an alibi? That's next.
And y'all, I also wonder, it seemed like David was, kind of like going over to the other side, like, like as if he was like, into men, like, he was dressing kind of like feminine. This is all these signs that the naughty daddy party that I see with him, the demonicness, the dressing like, the cross-dressing, had the head bonnet on. Like those to me are a little bit feminine traits. I'm not saying 100%. Some of the stuff, but some of the stuff it's like definitely like he seemed like he was trying to, crossover, however you want to say it, and like, same-sex, relationship type of thing. And this is what they push in Hollywood. Y'all know they push this agenda, and they say these sacrifices, if you in the naughty daddy party, is what they do also. So this is why I'm thinking, is this his first sacrifice? But y'all, let's continue. Let's continue.
The only people who need alibis are people suspected of crimes. And as we sit here tonight, the music star named David, spelled D4vd, is not one of those, a suspect. Or if he is, police sure aren't saying it. But given the fact that his underage girlfriend turned up dead in the trunk of his car in his neighborhood, and given that police have already raided his house and carted off items of interest, he may indeed need an alibi in the not-too-distant future. And that's where his concert tour comes in, his now canceled concert tour. By the way, David does still have dates open on his calendar for 2026. We looked into the line.
But how is he still have dates open for his concerts with this situation going on? I mean, maybe they're not going to mess with him until they have like all the, like, something, maybe of course, something is brewing in the background, of course, I believe, but maybe, they don't want to move until they know the move is right. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to move like the feds. They don't want to move until they know they have all the pieces to the puzzle put together so that they can execute whatever they're going to do. Tammy says, I would love to know why this guy is still free. Me too. That's what I wonder too, but I'm wondering if they're waiting for like a last piece to a puzzle that they're trying to figure out. If they're, especially talking to their the girl's mother, to Celeste's mother. I mean, I don't know, but I wonder why he's free too. Why is he still able to even have a schedule with these dates for concerts, right? This doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. This is why this seems very, very suspicious. But y'all, let's continue.
Up for the South American leg of Lollapalooza next March, and he is still listed as one of the acts, but I would not try to buy tickets just yet. As recently as last night, tickets were still being sold for David shows in Australia.
Wow.
But tonight, there are no David shows in Australia. Anyway, David's availability for the future shows could certainly depend on his past ones, the ones leading up to September 8th, when police found this: the underage girlfriend dead in the trunk of his Tesla in a tow lot. She'd been decomposing for weeks, maybe over a month, in that trunk, right up until police responded to the call from the impound lot that the stench from the car was overwhelming. So where was the singer when the girl's body was discovered? And maybe more important.
And Tammy, that's what I think too. You brought up a good point. Tammy says just based on the fact that she was found in his car. In the car, I believe, from what I read and doing my research, it says that he owns the car, that the car is in his name and it's registered in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if I'm wrong, let me know, you guys. But did you guys hear the same thing? Put a yes or a no, that this Tesla was his. So how is somebody, if it was any of us and there was a body found in our trunk of the car, they would be coming and, asking, matter of fact, probably coming to arrest us first before they even have questions, right? So this is crazy. This is sad, y'all. Let's continue.
Importantly, where was the singer when she was wrapped in plastic and put into that trunk?
Okay, Belinda said
for
yes.
that trunk to be closed for the final time. Judging from the concert poster, David's Withered tour in support of his debut album kicked off August 5th in Del Mar, California, on the outskirts of San Diego. And as jam-packed as this list looks, it is not even a complete list. Several shows were added, both before the official kickoff and before the remaining dates were scrapped just a week ago tonight. So on paper, it looks almost impossible for David to have been involved in whatever happened to Celeste.
See, Gordon says, don't assume he's guilty. Could he have been set up? I mean, that's a possibility too, but why would somebody say, let me borrow your car, and then go and do something, but doing something to your own girlfriend? Like, it doesn't make sense. To me, that doesn't make sense. It's like if you have a spouse, whether you're male, you let your friend borrow your car, and then your friend parks the car on the side with your wife's body in it. I mean, that just doesn't sound right to me. But I mean, let's continue. It doesn't sound right to me. But everybody's guilty until proven innocent until proven guilty. But it does seem like all these things that we know so far is pointing to him being guilty. But y'all, let's continue.
But not really. We did find some holes in his schedule, windows where he could have traveled back and forth to LA. But that raises the question of how David's entourage was traveling, or at least how David was traveling. The tour was laid out in geographical order, the way you would hit those cities if you were, say, driving a tour bus. But nowhere in the articles or the posts is there any mention of a bus. The only transportation that's ever shown or referenced is an airplane, sometimes a private plane, which opens up a lot of possibilities. But there is still the question of time. And to figure that out, we cross-checked a couple of key resources. Concertarchives.org tracks every show by every artist you can name, often including videos, photos, and even set lists. We also looked at David's personal tour diary. He has an Instagram account just for his concerts called Concerts and Travels called David Tour. And what did we find? Back on July 30th, David played a show at the Warfield Theater in San Francisco. It wasn't an official tour date, and it wasn't on his schedule, so maybe it was just like a tune-up show to get ready for the tour. He had 3 days off after that, until his next date, August 2nd, in Del Mar. Also not listed on the tour schedule, he played there on August 2nd. Had another 2 days off, and then played again on the 5th, leaving plenty of time to get back and forth to Los Angeles, even if by bike. Between the start of his tour and the first week of September, it looks like David had 13 different days off from this tour. July 31st, August 3rd, 4th, 7th, 10th, 11th, 14th, 18th, 21st, 25th, 27th, 31st, and September 1st. But the only chunks of time where he had more than 1 day off in a row, those happened on August 3rd and 4th, and August 10th and 11th. And then again, August 31st, 1st, and September 1st. It looks like we can account for his whereabouts, though, on that third set of days, August 31st and September 1st, and here's how. On the 1st, he posted this photo of himself and his photographer next to a private plane. Pay attention to what David is wearing in this picture. Also pay attention to his hairstyle, because when we checked his main Instagram against his travel Instagram, we found this video of David. Notice the same clothes, same hair, and he's telling fans that he's headed to Houston to see his friend Callie perform. That video was posted on September 7th, but that does not mean that it was shot on September 7th, right? It was actually more than likely shot on September 1st, just like this one, the picture of him next to the private plane.
Oh, wow.
Wearing the same clothes with the same hairstyle.
Oh, wow. So he took this picture and video and maybe, okay, if I'm understanding, posted on a different day? Huh.
In fact, David was actually performing on stage in Madison, Wisconsin on September 7th, so he could not have been flying to Houston on the 7th when this video was posted. So again, probably shot on the 1st, posted on the 7th. Bottom line.
Oh, wow. That's a good point. Wow. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. When you do the research and you see this type of thing, y'all, this stuff is crazy. Oh, my goodness.
This dead girl's boyfriend had 11 days to himself in the month leading up to the day that police found Celeste's body,
Wow.
which means exactly nothing if he is never named as a suspect or if he is never charged. And it also means next to nothing if he is charged. And authorities can't figure out when Celeste actually died. And maybe more importantly, when she was stashed in the trunk of David's Tesla. All right, guys, have a good weekend.
Wow.
You know, I have never really believed that there's no such thing as bad publicity. I mean, I think of Diddy and OJ and Casey Anthony. Not good. But if David comes out of this mess unscathed, and I mean legally unscathed, I might just change my mind. And that's because the verdict is already in on his career. And it seems the impact of this tragedy has not been tragic at all for his career.
Wow.
I'm going to run you the numbers in a moment.
Wow, this is crazy. Hold on, let me continue to play. This is crazy, but this is very sad. But y'all, let's continue listening to Ashley.
If you didn't know the R&B singer named David, spelled D4vd, a few weeks ago, but now you do, and if you downloaded one of his songs for the first time and became a fan, it is not because of anything his manager, his record label, or his PR team did. It's because a dead teenager was found in the trunk of his car. And P.S., you've got plenty of company. Since September 8th, when the remains of Celeste Rivas Hernandez were found, David's overall music streams have doubled to 30,300,000 in the United States alone.
Wow.
And the track with the biggest boost.
Wow. Because people are trying to go over there and see what his music is about. Put a one in the chat if y'all ever heard of him. I've never heard of this little demonic devil, this demonic entity. I have never heard of him. Never seen him before. Never heard. My kids, who are some of my kids are the same age, but I think one of our kids said he kind of known of him. But I mean, really and truly, Tammy says never. I've never heard of this little boy, but we know he's 20 years old. So of course his music is geared towards, that generation, the 20-year-old, 21. Okay. AJ says nope. So, of course us older folks, we're not going to be, maybe, I know I'm not listening or hip to these younger people, but this situation is really, really crazy. And I'm wondering, they're saying, I think his mother and his brothers and sisters, family, they are speaking out against, but speaking out and saying different stuff too. There is so much to unpack with David. I mean, it's a whole lot. But y'all, as I, kind of research and dive into it, I'm going to start, doing more videos on David. But yeah, let's continue and see what else Ashley has to say.
The one called Romantic Homicide. It's gone from 2.9 million streams to 9.4 million streams in just 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
And here's the weird part. Celeste is making money too, sort of, in the world of virtual currency. On some of the more obscure crypto sites that I don't pretend to understand, her name has become a token. Some call it a meme coin. Justice for Celeste coins are trading online for actual money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But
Wow.
where that money is coming from and where it is going to, where do the tokens come from?
Did y'all hear about that? That her name is making virtual money, like some coins? Put a one in the chat if y'all heard about this. I have not. Dead teen inspires big money crypto coins. This is what this title says. Dead teen inspires big money crypto coins. I have not even heard about this. This is crazy. Tammy says, nope, I didn't either. Dana says, I didn't even pronounce the spelling of his name right. Yeah, they call him David, but he just puts D4vd in his, I guess as his tag or whatever, as his name. But y'all, this is crazy, y'all. If people are making money with crypto coins, this is crazy.
From and who decides what they're worth? A crypto journalist. And yes, that's a real thing too. Poses the question, tribute or exploitation, and on that I say the jury's out. Thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend. Cuomo's next.
Wow, that's crazy. A whole crypto coin. Can y'all believe that? A whole crypto coin? Let me go to the next video. That's crazy. A whole crypto coin over this girl who's missing? I mean, y'all, this is really, really getting to be very crazy. But let's go back over the video with Ashley Banfield, where she shows us the Celeste movement. And let's see what she has to say in this video. But Des says that's wicked. Yeah, this is crazy. Dana says the whole thing is sick. Yes, it is sickening. I'd never heard of this young boy. He's a whole demonic entity in my eyes. This situation is just sad. It's sickening. But y'all, we're gonna get into and see what else Ashley Banfield has to say about this situation. Let me cue up the video. And see. Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday. This thing is getting crazy. It is getting crazy. What's the low says never. Yeah, this is crazy. But let's get on to this video and let's see Ashley Banfield talking about the video of the surveillance.
Rivas Hernandez in the trunk of her rich boyfriend's Tesla. It kicked off a spiraling mystery 2.5 weeks ago, but it also ended another mystery, one that had lasted 1.5 years. Celeste was a missing person from the age of 13 on. Her disappearance was reported to the Sheriff's Department in Riverside County, where she lived. In April of 2024, that report went in. But she had been a runaway at least twice.
Let's smash the like button, y'all. Smash the like button. I lose the judgment of God against this demon, Dave. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. Y'all, let's smash the like button. Hit the 3 buttons up here on y'all screen, right here on y'all screen, and smash the like button, y'all. We need to get the prayer. Also, put the prayer hands up for Celeste's family. Put the prayer hands in the comments, and let's smash the like button, y'all. This is sad. Let's just take just a couple of seconds to hit the like button and to put the prayer hands in the comment box, because this is sad. This, I'm telling you, this is like really sad. This girl's been missing since last April, but I don't know, like I said, how the mother could have like dealt with this for so long. I mean, she had no choice, but this situation is sad. It is sad. Yes, let's put the prayer hands, and please, hey sister, how are you? Put the prayer hands, you guys, and let's smash the like button for Celeste, y'all. This is sad. This little girl did not deserve this. This is sad. Even though she was a runaway, whatever the case may be, nobody deserves to, you know, be killed on somebody else's behalf at all. But y'all, let's continue.
Before that, in January and again in March of that year. Now TMZ has obtained video from the March disappearance. It was captured by a surveillance camera down the street from Celeste's home in Lake Elsinore, California. There's Celeste, right there, at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. This was March 19th. Where she's going and why she starts to run is unclear, but one thing is certain. This minute-long video is critical to what came next in her young life, as is personal information about Celeste herself from the man who owns the cameras. I spoke a short time ago about all of this with TMZ executive producer Charles Ladabodiere, and here's our conversation. Charles, tell me about this video, when it was taken, and the significance of the date and time.
Well, the video that we obtained from this is surveillance video from a liquor store in Lake.
Okay, this is a cut from the other video, you guys. So I'm not gonna we can go over. We can still go over for some of y'all that just joined us. So this is TMZ. So I guess they were able to get this footage from Celeste, you know, from her running away. But it says TMZ unearths 2024 video of Celeste Rivas. Was in the final time she ran away. So we can continue listening. Let's continue. Michael says she was sacrificed. I was believing that too, Michael. I believe so. But let's continue listening again to this guy from TMZ.
Elsinore, California. The date is March 19th, 2024. What's significant about that date is this was around the time where what we've heard now from several people who have known who knew Celeste, is that she was a runaway, and that in early 2024 there were multiple times that she ran away from home. This would have been either the second or third time, we're trying to figure that out, that she ran away in March. The first time had been in January. We've talked about it, that the police found her in Hollywood, brought her back to her family. But in March, she took off again. And we know this because her sister went into this liquor store and asked the owner if he had seen her come into the store. Did he have any surveillance video that might have shown her or where she went? He went back and looked at his cameras, and he did see this video, which shows Celeste walking down the street, walking at first, but then running, and she's running toward someone. Now, you lose it in the video because she gets too far down the street and you can't make out the vehicle, but the owner of the liquor store who we spoke to told us there was a car waiting for her there.
I'll tell you, I zeroed in on a couple of details. One of the details was that it's 7 a.m. And I thought, what on earth could be going on in her life at 7 a.m. that this would cause a problem, and her sister would eventually ask for this video that day. And then,
Yeah, that's crazy. And who was waiting there to give her a ride at age 13? I mean, if it's not like an aunt, a uncle, grandma, grandpa, an older sister, who was this person giving her a ride? I mean, they said she ran away before to Hollywood, and they had to, bring her back home. So this is crazy.
I thought, well, that's usually a school bus pickup or drop up, a pickup time. So is it thought that maybe she left home ostensibly to go to the school bus, didn't get on the school bus? Eventually, when she was reported as truant, maybe her sister started to ask, I wonder if she ever did get on the school bus, and found the video showing that she didn't.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened here, Ashley, because the liquor store owner told us he was aware of Celeste and most of the kids in that neighborhood. Again, this liquor store is on the end of the block where Celeste's family lives. And he said that all the kids, when they would get off the school bus, or even when they were getting on the school bus, they would come into his store to buy, drinks or candy, snacks. And so he spoke to a lot of the kids. He knew Celeste, and he told us that, as far as he knew, there was no...
You know what? Taylor Tutoring says, why did she keep running away? That's a good reason. Tailored Tutoring. This is why I said I wanted to find out what her family dynamics look like. How was her mother like a working mother? Was her mother not present? I mean, in her, an active mother, I guess, per se. Was she like a workaholic, or was she not there like during the times when like the children were home? I don't know. I want to know how her family was structured. Was her father in her life? I don't know. But y'all, let's continue.
Didn't know of any trouble at home, or that she was in any jeopardy or anything that he knew of. We have been told by law enforcement sources that they described her home life as troubled.
You and I have talked a little bit
Oh, okay. So, I must have missed that the first time. So he said that the home life was troubled. So the only thing I can think of, because let me say this, kids, we got kids, we got children. Now, the only reason why a child normally that I've noticed and, raising children is that when they act out, they do these type of things is because they are missing, the attention of a parent or whoever is raising them, so they act out and they do things for attention. Now, I don't know. They said from what they're saying that her home life was troubled. It was troubled, so I don't know, you guys, but let's continue.
before, but I keep thinking every day something will loosen up with the LAPD, but I feel like you're getting the sense that this is one of the most tight-lipped cases they've had.
And I'm not sure exactly why, but that is an accurate description. I mean, we cover a lot of stories like, not like this necessarily, but we cover a lot of stories involving law enforcement here in Hollywood, in the Hollywood area. You usually hear something, right? The police forces are too large to not hear something, and there is a clear order from some.
And she's definitely like, I mean, literally, like, you know, you say runaway, you know, you just not really running, but she's literally running. Like, was there some, like, was this home, was it an abusive home? You know, was she getting whoopings? Was she getting tore out the frame? Was there's other, like, you know, deeper things going in, like raping or something like that? Because she literally, if we see these videos, and let me just rewind it just a tad bit, because it's like she's actually running from something. I mean, actually running from something. But let me see. Let's see this. See how she's like literally like running. You know, when we say runaway, just, you know, the kids, you know, you can't find them. They ran away from home, but she is running away from home. Look at her.
The police forces are too large to not hear something, and there is a clear order from someone to make sure that we keep a tight lid on. That they keep a tight lid on whatever it is that they've learned at this point. We've just heard so little.
Aren't you so shocked? I mean, honestly, this is the kind of case that screams for the public. We need your help. If you saw something on this date or this time or in this...
Yeah, that's sad. And I wonder, did she have a cell phone? I mean, could they... you know, like, what's it called when the trying to ping on the different towers to see where she's at? Like, I don't know. They need phone records. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Michael. Did she have a phone where they could ping where she was at? I mean, like this, I don't know, y'all. This is a lot going on. Dana says she was failed. Yes, I believe so. Or his, yeah, that's right. His or hers. They could have known where she was, because y'all, if they can ping a tower to kind of know where a person is. This is how they find a lot of people when they're missing or wanted or whatever. I don't understand what happened here, but y'all, let's continue.
This window, please call us. Like, tips help. You can ask the people in the Idaho case. The tips helped, and they really do bring in a lot of information and good leads. There's been nothing. There's been no request from the LAPD, which tells me they got what they need. They just need to figure out what the next step is to make sure it's not a mess.
And that they're trying to figure out how to connect some dots.
This seems to be another social media, investigation. Is it helping or is it hurting that there are so many true crime sleuths trying to piece together the puzzle?
I think, you said this just a few minutes ago, actually, that public tips help, right? And there are certainly... And I would imagine the LAPD is people who are looking at specializing in social media, combing through some of this material that's out there. It can only help. And, one of the things that I've learned a lot about as we've been covering this story is Discord. And there's a ton of information that is available there in David's communications with his fans and his fans' communications with Celeste. Whether or not any of it is going to lead to a location where she was, who she was hanging out with, we haven't seen that yet, but I know that there is so much information out there. And if you have people on social media who are digging through it themselves, you never know. One of them might find the thing that, and certainly I hope that if they do, that they are sharing that with
She is running.
So maybe police are getting those tips anyway.
Charles Odor here, I know you have to go. I'm always so thankful. I appreciate it, sir.
Happy to talk to you anytime.
Sooner rather than later.
Yes, indeed. Thanks.
And y'all, so that's pretty much the end of that, because it was a cut from the bigger video that we just went over, the 30-minute video we just went over. But y'all, as this story unfolds, you guys, I'm going to continue to bring you guys information, what I find out, because this situation is crazy. Why did he even choose to, kill her? I'm thinking, like I said, this is my opinion. I think it was a sacrifice because he was in Hollywood. He was, I believe, with the, signed up for that program. And, in that program is deep and demonic. and his videos show it. But I believe that this was supposed to be his sacrifice, and it probably got out of hand. But this 13-year-old girl missing, now she's 15 when, you know, they found her, and the family's been saying that they reported her. She ran away before, and the police brought her back to the house. So I don't know. Like I said, I want to know. I need to look up and see what the mother has been saying, because I think the family, her family or David's family or both, have been saying stuff here and there. So it's a lot to unpack here. I don't know. It's a lot to unpack here, but I'm still trying to get into the gist of, like, you know, into the meat and potatoes of this story, because there's so much that has been coming out about, you know, this tape, that the surveillance tape that came out, seeing her actually running away from the house. Like, did she just get like beat up or just get whooped or something like that for her to be running like that? It just makes me think, like, what really happened? Hey, Lady D says you look beautiful. Pure survival queen. Thank you, Lady D. How you doing today? Happy Sunday. So it's just crazy. And it just is it's just mind blowing that this girl is 13 years old, and I would not stop. I would not go to work no more. I would put everything, I would stop everything in my life to try to find my child. I don't know what the situation was. Like I said, I want to know. But they said, this TMZ guy said that, you know, it wasn't like a good, she didn't have a good home, like, situation going on. So I don't know. Lady D says, all right. Yeah, so it's sad. It's very, very sad, you guys. But let me, I'm going to get some more information and see what else has transpired, because there's a lot to unpack. Michelle said, or did the parents or family members hurt her? See, I don't know, because this guy's saying that the family, her home life is not really good. So I don't know, was she like, were they beating her? Were they abusing her? And then she kept on running away. It sounds like that could be a possibility. And the reason why she kept running away, because they said in the video she ran away and then the police had to bring her back home. So evidently she's running from something, because if life is peachy and grand and all good, a child wouldn't want to run away like that. Some kids want to be grown. They want to do whatever they want to do. They think they grown, hard head. They, make a soft behind. But there has to be something more, because this girl was running. When she got out the house, she was running. Kids ain't running to no bus stop unless the bus is going to be late. And half the time, they be like, oh, mama, I'm dead. I'm sorry, I missed the bus. I wasn't about to be running. But this girl was running, like she was running from something. So I don't know, y'all. It's a lot to unpack here. But y'all, thank you for stopping in. Thank all of my mods, Tammy, everybody, all my mods. Thank y'all for the likes. Subscribe to my channel. We're going to be unpacking this whole situation, because I want to know all the way down to, the nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes. How's the mom? How was she treating her? Was her mom like an absent mom? Was she like a workaholic? Was she out kind of doing her own thing? There's like so many things that I'm thinking about that could possibly have led to her running away all the time. Was she abused? Was she beat up? Was she, essay, DV'd, all these things? I got to see and do my research, because like I said, it's a lot to unpack here. But y'all, thank you, Michelle, thank you. So y'all, thank you guys for stopping in. Like I said, as soon as I find some more footage, some more videos, do my research on finding out more information about Celeste and David and getting more intel, I will definitely come back live and continue to, delve into the story and see what else we find out, what we find out about the household and, her family life, David and his family life, his mother and all of that, even though he's grown. But I just still want to know the kind of like the backstory, the back situation to all of this. But y'all, thank you guys for stopping in. Happy Sunday fun day, y'all. Please always lead with love, peace, and tranquility, as I always say. And y'all, keep y'all's head on the swivel, because it is getting dangerous in these streets. All the way down to this 15-year-old girl losing her life, cut up or whatever. But there's a lot going on in 2025, y'all. Just keep your head on the swivel. Be safe, y'all. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.